Kamala Harris is a communist.
He's a monster.
Number one, no doubt about it.
It's gonna be World War III.
Shut her fucking border down.
Hitler himself was elected democratically, and that is frightening.
I will vote for Harris.
Why?
Because he give more support to Latinos, and I am Latinos. Yeah, that's the reason.
Kamala Harris. I believe in women's rights, and this country needs a mother.
Most of our politicians are corrupt. They say one thing and they do another. If they don't do what they say, well, how can you back somebody that and call them your leader if they don't do what they say?
So have you ever voted in your life?
Never.
I'm going to vote for the former President Trump. I believe, like Poland, we need to stay free from communism. I think Kamala Harris is a communist.
He's a monster.
I'm going to be voting for Kamala Harris. I really stand for people's freedoms and their ability to express themselves and women's autonomy. And I think you can't really have a good point on anything if you're not letting people be human.
If Trump doesn't win, they're going to just lock it all in, and we may not. We'll need to have a revolution like you guys had in Poland.
Trump specifically has approached politics nowadays. It's been extremely effective at splitting America apart.
I think what America and the world needs in some ways is a mother or a mother figure. We need mom to come in, clean up house, give us work to do, and get things back.
I'm Armenian, for example. We're neighbors with you guys. But for me, as an Armenian, our entire country, we're all Armenian with like the same, phenotype. But when you look at America, we're not like that. We have a multitude of different races and cultures here. And, I really look to the party that's not being voted by the KKK and, other white nationalist groups. Because after all, we have to remember that, when Hitler himself was elected democratically, and that is frightening, that can happen.
I'm not voting at all. No cap. I would vote, but they're not gonna make it no difference. If we vote for Trump, we going to war. If we vote for Kamala, she doing extra stuff, like unnecessary stuff. The only person that might change is Trump. He probably bring the price back down, and then like if he get into the office, we already going to war. He done said it already. So like, nah, like it's gonna be World War III, whatever one. I'm not trying to put myself into that.
Well, I'm 86 years old. I've been voting for years. And I will tell you, this is the first time I have such a bad choice, a hard choice. I shouldn't say bad, hard choice for president. For many times, I voted more Republican than I have Democrat in my years. Too many people are coming into the country. They're coming in, they give them a job, place to live. I think it should be set back where everyone comes through with the right set of papers.
Definitely women's rights as a large portion, and generally it's not more about for me which candidate I necessarily support. It's about which I think would do better as far as being a leader in the U.S.
I'm going to be voting for Harris. I think women's rights is really important and something that's definitely on the ballot in November. Also think there's like an education crisis in the country. I'm from New Mexico. We have the worst education system in the country, and just access to quality education is really hard to get in a lot of places in the U.S.
Also going to be voting for Harris. So I was also kind of young, but I remember during the Trump administration. So I'm not from here. I immigrated here from India. And when I remember growing up, we used to watch Comedy Central when Trevor Noah used to run it. And he'd always have these really funny commentaries on Trump. And I remember thinking like, oh man, this is great.
What issues? For me, it's probably like freedoms of speech, freedom of expression.
I'm going to go for Kamala. Just wants better for the normal people, especially poor people. You know, Trump wants to make rich people even more rich, take money away from poor people. Kamala wants to help people, like build them up, you know?
Kamala. Why am I gonna vote Trump? Number one thing is, when you look at his previous administration, nobody from his previous administration is gonna serve in his current administration. His prior VP did not even endorse him. And for me, being part Polish American is also the situation, the global situation, you know, the Middle East, the Ukraine conflict, and Trump with his vague position, shall we say, on does he really want Ukraine to win or not? I mean, all he said, he wants the war to end, but you know, he was asked twice during the last debate, and there was no clear answer. So, whereas Harris is definitely staying the current course.
I'm a Republican, so that should tell you all you need to know.
So this is Trump, right? You're going to vote for former president.
Yes.
Why is it so?
Because the economy was so much better when he was president, and I don't trust Kamala. She didn't do anything in the last 4 years. That's all I have to say.
I'm the same way. I believe. I mean, he's a character and extravagant, but I think he's honest. I think when he was in the last time, he did what he said he was going to do. He tried to do what he said he was going to do. Biden was the choice they were stuck with last time. I think Kamala Harris is inexperienced. I think our national debt, people don't talk about it as much anymore, but through the coronavirus, all the money that was handed out freely to the entire nation, that hurt us in the long run. I'm worried about my kids and grandkids. I don't think that would have happened with different leadership. I think right there towards the end of Trump's, when he was in, I believe that he was pressured to make those decisions at the end by the other party. And I don't think that there would have been the last handout that I called the break the country handout. So.
I hate the Democrats and I hate the fucking Republicans. I'm straight up a libertarian. I mean, that's my views on it. I was gonna vote for Kennedy, but he left us. Well, so anybody but the two we got running.
And do you, in your opinion, what kind of issues are the most important ones for Americans right now?
Shutting our fucking border down. That's why I want to move forward. In about 2 years, hopefully, I'll be there.
In Poland? Really?
Yeah.
You're going to move to Poland or just visiting?
No, move.
Free speech is free speech. We have the ability to do this interview based on the fact that we have the ability to do that under the First Amendment. The Second Amendment is there to protect the First Amendment, to make sure that the First Amendment and people have the right to free speech and question their government. Second Amendment's there for in case our government decides to suppress the first. So, and I think Trump is our best hope to keep the Constitution as it was intended for the American people. Woke tendencies, the woke thing, DEI and all that is designed specifically, I believe, to destroy the American people from uniting. And so if they can keep us concentrated on race, gender, sexual orientation, anything that has to do, that all they are is divisive measures, and they destroy the unity of the social group. So same thing with immigration, constantly allowing millions of undocumented immigrants, illegal aliens into the United States, creates a homogenized state and denigrates the American people in their social environment. On one side, they say, let's go with the science when it came to COVID. But on the other side, they don't want to go with the science when it comes to gender identity. So, guys are guys, girls are girls.
Trump all the way. Number one. No doubt about it.
They're throwing money down the hole. Russia's fighting a war of attrition. There's more military-age males in Russia, 10 times over, than there's in Ukraine. Sooner or later, they're going to run out of people to run the weapons we're sending them. So who's going to take up the slack then? Is it going to be Polish boys? Is it going to be American boys? Who's it going to be? They need to end it.
Immigration, the border, the economy, inflation, censorship, First Amendment rights. These are things that are under attack in our country, and we're dangerously moving to a socialist country.
Do you think social division in America is an issue?
In my day-to-day life, no. As the media portrays it, yes. Do I think it's manufactured? It could be. I think it's very disturbing that any candidate, Democrat or Republican, would be targeted for assassination. So it concerns me gravely that any political figure would be threatened, especially at the site of the John F. Kennedy assassination. My other concern is election integrity in this country. There have been allegations of voter fraud, cheating. The immigration issue is disturbing, not only because we have illegal individuals in our country usurping taxpayer dollars, but also these individuals will be allowed to vote. And they are not citizens, which is not constitutional. So that can sway an election, especially in very close swing states. So that integrity concerns me. I think Americans should vote. I think there should be IDs available so that American citizens decide who their next president will be, and then we get behind our next president, Democrat or Republican. There's a lot of disturbing things happening in our country, and I really hope and pray that we'll turn it around.
And I'm going to vote Democratic, but I already know whoever wins, God is in control. So that's where I'm at with it.
Your lucky day. I, President Donald John Trump, sees relaxation in your future. You don't need to worry about your troubles anymore because we're winning.